Hey guys, Brady here with your daily tennis lesson. Talking today about the modern forehand and the technique to hit this shot. You know, I think a lot of you guys have probably seen videos on this, so it's just really my take on what's, apparent in the pro game. And we're obviously all hopefully trying to, emulate the great players that are out there in the world. So the first thing that we got to touch on with the modern forehand is the pivot and coil move that happens when we see that the ball is coming to our forehand side, okay? And what we're trying to avoid is really just, either stiffness or slowness getting set to hit the forehand. We want to create a more athletic swing to hit a forehand like the current pro players do. So the pivot and coil move is something that happens simultaneously once I see that the ball is coming to my forehand side. And so if you saw me in ready position and I see the ball's out to my right, that move, that we call the pivot is really the legs. Okay, everything from the waist down needs to help me get set to the side the ball's on. And you guys can see that right foot is my plant leg. So I'm keeping a little more weight out there, but both feet are kind of sliding to set me in that position. And I want you guys starting to feel that left foot a little more off the ground than you are right now. A lot of times I see this pivot move and both feet are flat on the ground. And again, we're trying to make this a little more athletic. So by taking that left foot and keeping it a little bit higher off the ground, you guys are establishing a much better base here on this right leg, which ultimately is going to be our driving leg, okay? Now, from the waist up, that coil idea, where I want to feel like my body's like a rubber band that's getting wound up to then unload when I go to hit the ball. You guys want to really feel the shoulders go from this square position towards the other side of the court, and take your shoulders and set them in the direction of the side fence. Okay, a lot of times if this move isn't done well, it's because you guys don't turn far enough. These legs might work, but you guys will start to take the racket back and your shoulders are still a little bit open to the other side of the court, which means we haven't kind of spring loaded our body to hit into the ball. So as I pivot the feet, watch the shoulders. They're going to really turn me directly to the side. And in this position, that racket should be kind of perpendicular to the ground, and that left hand's going to be at the same height as the right hand. Okay, so let's look at it all together here. So here's the pivot and coil move when I see that the forehand's coming. All right, and that's a good little kind of thing to practice, you guys, is check all those positions. See if that left foot's off the ground, feel a little more weight on the right leg. Check to make sure the hands aren't setting at different heights, but really, kind of at the exact same height. And all of this is going to come off of a good split step, you guys. Make sure you're not just pivoting and coiling without coming off a good split step, okay? So Mark's going to toss me just one or two balls here, and I'm going to actually catch the ball in my left hand, and as I catch it, I'm going to check all those positions and make sure I got that nice pivot and coil. All right, so let's see this. I'm going to pivot and coil off a good split step and catch the ball. All right, so I check those positions. That left foot's nice and high off the ground. The hands are at about the same height. I feel that good load in the right leg, and the racket's perpendicular to the ground, okay? So I want you guys to go out, and even without hitting a couple shots, practice that a little bit, where you get a good split, pivot and coil, and check those positions, okay? Because that's the initial move we got to make to set the modern forehand. All right, so I hope that was helpful for you guys. That's all I got today. Please click like below this video, and if you happen to be watching on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. Thanks, and we'll see you guys soon.